good evening and welcome to the stream. It is midweek Friday and I felt like doing a stream. I wanted to do more Terrapuppercraft, but I also wanted to do the vanilla Minecraft, and I kind of wanted to do that on Friday, so I decided that I'm gonna do Terrapuppercraft today because I feel like it and because I don't know what's gonna happen during the weekend. So that is the plan today, and well, where are we at? That is a good question. Because if you remember last time, I left off after the stream a little uncertain as to what to do with the stream, or with the world, because we were struggling a little bit for ore, and frankly we're in a very hostile area. There's a lot of shade and there are a lot of hostile mobs. So that has been a little bit of a roller coaster over this past week. So what has happened basically is that in the beginning I thought maybe I should just start a new world and things will be better. Then I tried making a private world here. You can see it, private. And I tried out some things there. Basically, I wanted to play a little bit more and I didn't want to play in the stream world. So I started another world so I could experiment. And one of the things I also wanted to do was try out a lot of the things that can cause frustrations and stuff. To see what is good for stream, what is not good for stream. And then decide how to deal with it essentially. And after doing that, I decided that hell no, I'm taking the challenge. Because frankly, this is a world that I've never had before. I'm starting in a acacia forest, which is apparently a jungle biome. And it's very different to any other world that I've started. But then we ran into another problem. Namely that an acacia forest, well, acacia trees means that the average temperature lies somewhere between 30 and 50 degrees, which just so happens to be about 40 degrees, just under 40, which means that in this place nothing other than acacia and kapok trees can grow. And the problem with these trees is that neither of them regrow. So once you've cut them down, they're gone for good. So that's the problem. Because that means that eventually we're running out of wood. It is nice because like I wanted to claw my way into the land and make it mine. But while that is easier because once you cut down a tree there will be light there now, there's no other trees, so eventually we're going to run out of wood, which means that if we can't get another source of wood, we're simply running out of wood. And that is frankly a little bit ridiculous in a game where there's usually ore that is a limiting factor. So then all of a sudden I thought that, oh damn it, that might actually kill the world. But a little more also happens because I thought then, well, you can travel and find trees that way. But the thing is, Terrapuppercraft, the way it works is that like north and south, you have basically the climate. So at equator, which is 0 in northern direction, you will probably have desert, I would assume. Then you go a little further up, then you hit the jungle, where it is like you get so hot that nothing can grow essentially. And then you go a little bit up, it gets cold enough, cold as in 50 degrees Celsius, where kapok and acacia trees can grow. So now you suddenly start seeing plants. Then you go a little further up and then you get to like a Spanish, Italian sort of climate. And then you go further up and you get to a more like American, mid-Europe climate. Then you go further up, you get to a Nordic climate. And then finally you go up and you get to an Arctic climate. And then finally you hit the very, very far north where everything turns into a frozen wasteland, basically an ice desert. The thing is, in my private world here, I am at minus 12,000, and in the stream world I checked it, we're about 4,000. In my private world I tried to travel to some different lands to find animals and stuff, and frankly I had to sail 5 kilometers by boat, and worse than that, there's a bug in 1.7 where there is a boat desync issue, which means that about every 5 to 1,000 blocks your boat will desync from your body, and then all of a sudden the world will stop generating, which means that you can effectively sail off the world and fall into the void. And if you jump out of the boat, which is the only way to reset it, then you are teleported several hundred blocks back, and then you lose your boat. So you better bring like an inventory full of boats and also water, because there's a very real threat of dehydrating while you're at sea. Dying of dehydration, basically. So yeah, like it takes something like it took me about 5 in-game days to travel to the other land, and I was lucky with the distance based on other people's testimonials, because you can also completely miss land, and then where are you then? Because you can only see so much. So it's like, if I hadn't noticed a little bit of land out to the side, then I would just have continued. So yeah, long story short, an hour by boat, that is not good for a stream. So we are making some changes. And I did check inside the stream world. You'll notice the time has changed a little bit. That's because I've done a couple of things, but it's very, very few things. I'll go over them. But I wanted to see if it was possible, because if we are like way down, or we don't have land access, then I'm gonna have to do a stream where I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll see you next time once I find some land, and that would be a little sad. So it might just be better to start a new world. But it looks like there is some kind of promised land to the north, and we are gonna check that out today. But other than that, I also have some other things that I've been thinking about, because there's things like animals and stuff, and frankly, like, I've been looking for cows for so long. Like, in my private world, I've looked for sheep, cows and chickens. Cows, I have not seen a cow in Terrapuppercraft yet. Sheep I found in a different world, but not in my private world. They require mountains to spawn. Pigs I found everywhere, but pigs don't really give me anything. Then there's chickens. Chickens only spawn in jungles, which is where we're at, so there's actually a chance. But if I had to find chickens in my private world here, then, well, I would have to go about 7,000 blocks south to get there by boat, and that's frankly not fun. It's terribly boring, and it doesn't make for a good stream or a fun gameplay. And well, I looked it up a little bit. There were some other people complaining about the size of oceans, and the developer basically said that, well, my co-developer actually wants to make the oceans larger. I was like, okay. Yeah, I wasn't creative, because you'll notice that I removed the sleuth here. I went into creative and reverse engineered that, and that is simply because it is broken. It doesn't work. Basically what is the problem is that it is supposed to be able to give you ores from the area, which is why I didn't give anything here, because there is no ores right here next to us. But it will scan the area and then it will give ores from that area. So that is supposedly good, but there is some issues with it, because it has a bug where it will desync. Let's take these with us, I think. Maybe we should leave them. But it will desync once you leave the loaded area, and that causes them basically to lose inventory. Oh, I lost that torch. Just reclaiming the torches, there's no sense in wasting them. If you light them before you break them, you can get them back, which I think they should drop lighted, but perhaps it's to make sure that you have to have a lit torch. But that basically means that it's wasted resources for the sake of wasted resources because someone else didn't bother to fix a bug. And that's not fun, especially because the acacia wood is precious. So I just reversed that. I also went and got the maze, as you can see. Oh, hello. I don't really want to play with you. Oh, this is grown. Alright, so that is that. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna pack up here and we're gonna head north. That is the plan. Now we have these fellows. Not actually sure that jump hitting them does anything in Terrapuppercraft, but rather on the safe side, because it has a completely different attack system. But yeah, we're gonna wait until morning before we head out. Oh wait. Let's drop that. Okay, so let's see here. We want to drop that off. Here is where I have my food. Okay, so I want, before we head out, I want to make a little bit of preparation. Do we have any bowls already made? We do. Do we have any stone? We do have some diorite. So we're going to prepare ourselves a little bit because we are a little weak. So we're going to make a kitchen table. We're going to pop off this. We are going to grab our food. And we're going to see if we can make ourselves some kind of munchables, because frankly we need something to eat. I don't know if we can make it out of this. Taste. It is a sour and savory salad made of onion, maize, rye grains and tomato. Not the most tasty stuff perhaps, but it'll do us. Oh, bums. Well, there goes the bowl. That is the last bowl that I have, so the rest of the food will go in this. Alright, so we'll bring the vessels for the sake of inventory. We will bring our water jugs, because you never know when you run out of water. We're also going to bring some other stuff. The ladders we're not going to bring. I am going to save that inventory. We're going to store that. We are going to store these. Those are for mining, but we're not ready for mining yet. Alright. So, let's see. How does white elm look? Oh, interesting. That's like a lime green. That could be interesting. But, I don't know, I think we're gonna make another acacia chest. Okay, so we're not gonna bring the prospector's pick, we're not gonna break the pickaxe. We're gonna borrow this. And leave this here. And then we are going to make a couple of chests, which we're gonna bring with us. Alright, I think we are ready to go then. Let's store the other knife. And we have too much stuff to probably make this in one run, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's grab this, and we're not going to replant that one. Do I have a vessel here that is partially filled? Yes, we will store it in that. Could you? Okay, let's cut down the torches a little bit. The reason I'm storing it in the clay vessels is that it improves the durability, I guess, of the food. I think it gives it like a, I can't remember if it's a 0.5 or 0.25 decay resistance. Morning is coming, so we're going to head out soon. I would like to finish talking. Oh yeah. Experience actually does give you more health, so it's good. But let's put that on our bar so that it is ready in case we need to emergency nap anything. But if you see here, we have actually found white elm. We strafed the area up here. So we know that there's a different biome up here. It is just a question of how big it is. And you can see here we found the cassiterite vein. That is our salvation. So we have some options here. We can either head straight north, which is the most direct route, or we can head towards the east. That frankly goes down further south, so that might not be the best option. We could also head into this area here, where we came from originally, and see if we can find a nice spot where we hit this biome along the coast, which is what I want to do, because basically we would like to live somewhat close to the sea. I like to have the sea to my back because it is safe, and also I could use some more sticks. It is safer to have one side where monsters never come from, but it is also frankly really nice in other regards, because there is some things where you need salt water while others you need fresh water. It's fairly safe to go here by the seaside, so that's why we can go while it is still night. Why is there light over there? I feel like that should be off. Oh, I don't want to play with that skeleton. Once it gets a little lighter, we can head a little bit more inland. We don't want to play with the skeletons, though. The skeletons are dangerous. Okay. Another thing about going this way is that we are currently on conglomerate rock, and while it is not a very good rock for durability, that's less important when the trees are smaller. So we can afford it, kinda. Okay, we're gonna go down here. Oh, what's this? Native platinum. Platinum is not very useful, but it does have a couple of uses. It looks pretty, and you can make lamps out of it, which doesn't help you unless you can make what is it called? Olive oil, because otherwise you don't have a fuel. Oh, skeleton. But yeah, the nice thing about conglomerate is that it is a warmer color. Ooh, bismuth. Bismuth. Yoink. I see another piece. We like bismuth. Yoink. Bismuth is one of the options for tier 2 materials. Let's just check here. I want to get closer to the shoreline. What is this? Conglomerate gravel. Okay. Not the most ideal mountainside here. Oh, I accidentally brought the flowers with me. More bismuth. More bismuth. That also reminds me of something. I forgot one thing here. This is the wrong thing. I need this. I need my sheet so I can keep track of the ores. It is possible. Bismuth here, let's see. Bismuth generates in sedimentary layers and in igneous extrusive layers. So it can generate in conglomerate, which means that it might be a surface layer ore, which is not the best. It is easier to get to though. Yeah, surface layer ores are smaller than the others. I think this is bituminous coal. Yep. That will come in handy. But yeah, you can use either bismuth and sphalerite together with copper, or cassiterite together with copper. Copper comes in either tetrahedrite, malachite, or native copper to make bronzes, which is either bismuth bronze or regular bronze, the most classic bronze, the bronze we all know. This is an RC ravine. don't want to stay close to the or too close to the ocean, so we're going to go this direction. You can also make black bronze, but that requires gold and silver along with copper. So first thing I saw blue flower. Okay, what are we finding here? We're finding a shoreline. Let's hop down to the beach. Nothing immediately interesting there, though I do see some more bituminous coal here. Finding exposed coal is quite nice, because otherwise you have to make charcoal, and charcoal is very valuable in this, so little counterintuitive to what you would expect from regular Minecraft. Oh, what is that? I see cabbage. Let's hope that it's grown enough. It is. We're gonna grab it even though it's not fully mature. Close enough. Magnetite. So you can harvest it even though it's not fully mature, and we learned last time that some of the crops die. Galena. Now, I talked about last time that that stuff was worthless. It is going to be less worthless. This looks almost mature. Oats. I want some of these. I like daisies. I would like this to generate, please. All right. White elm, we're getting close. Enderman, don't look at the Enderman. Limonite. Okay, where are we at here? We have a land bridge going to the west, and then we have land going to the east, and everything is laggy. Give it a moment. Holy butts at the lag. That's another thing, like, when you go for excessive exploring, the game just starts lagging out because of, like, the buffer overflowing. So, ow, could you, like, not? That might be kapok trees. No limonite. Again, not going to pick up the limonite now because it is not terribly helpful for us right now. But eventually we're going to need it. Far out in the future. I'm very curious if this is kapok. Or just crazy generation. Oh, tetrahedrite. Bye, creeper. No, I think it just looked like it. Oh. Dirt fell down. Okay, that is a little... What is this? Gabbro. Oh, what is this? Jet. Jet is also a useless thing, but again, it is going to be less useless in the near future. Saw something that looks like some mature wheat. I do not disagree with that. We should actually store these. It's food. This is really dark in here. Alright. Grab a sip of water while we can. I'd like to cross over here before... Oh, here we go. White elm. So we have made it to a white elm forest, and there is crops. Mature garlic. We love garlic. Again, let's store it. The only problem is this is a very dangerous place still. Chickens! Chickens! Oh, rain is not going to help. We're going to remember what they are. That's the first chickens I found. But we did spawn in a jungle, so that is the one benefit of our spawn. Ooh, pumpkins. I'm not going to pick up the pumpkins now because I am slowed mining, but pumpkins, I'll mark them for later. Would be nice to get some more light. Okay, let's try searching further to the west. To the west is a ravine. No, there's a quarry. It's still in conglomerate. Lovely. Saw something over here. Uh-oh. Yeah, I see garlic. Not fully grown, but it'll do. Maze here. Is this? Yeah, it is. Good. Oh, bugger. Oh, bugger. Whew. Skeleton. Let's head a little bit further south. Worry about inventory by morning. Right now I just want to find things. Another creeper. That creeper is dangerously close. Think fast. I'll have to come back after that maze here. Right in the fringe here. And it looks like we almost have a little bit of a plains here. Not much though. I wouldn't mind a sippy. But I need time to clear my inventory. Damn it. Okay, moment. I see more chickens to our west. More chickens to our north. Not intentionally. But we might as well, if we can. Chickens. How are we doing? Oh. Oh, yeah. Don't get too close to the chickens. There's a rooster here. I didn't see a rooster in the other places. A rooster's good to have. That means you can get more chickens, strangely enough. It seems to happen almost as if by magic. That's really uncomfortable. Magnetite. Oh, I think we've found a shoreline. That is what we wanted. Because then we can take a little bit of shelter here. Sun is coming up, but it's still thundering. Average temperature 24. That's a little bit more humane than 40. It's not a bad area. Except that rock there is a little weird. More rice seeds. That is nice. I see some more pumpkins. Alright. I'm worried that we're still so far down that nothing other than white elm can generate. I would like to get a little further up. Ooh, new plants. Okay, I do have a little bit of inventory. Okay, could you guys chill for a moment? doesn't fit in there anymore. God damn it, stop thundering! I'm not gonna grab those, but marking them. A little bit too close to that skeleton. Also chickens. More pumpkins. That looks like a hot springs, but for some reason there's no hot springs water. That looks like death. I just want to see here, how far have we actually gone now? 2 kilometers. It's not too bad. That's different trees. Ash. I think it just stopped thundering. This is a very big and nasty ravine. Okay. Let us stop thundering for a second. I can't store those anymore. Oh well. Okay, so let's see here. So we found ash trees over here. I would like to grab some saplings. Oh, I wish I had a sandwich. Oh, bumps. What? Bloop. Okay. Ah, bumps, we're up on top of the tree again. Well, that's the first time that has happened. Okay, so death point there. Let's see, waypoints. Okay, it's got a different mark, so we can see it that way. It is towards the what? It's far away. There we are. Okay. Question is, how do we get down there? Are we going in the right direction? No. Oh. bismuth. There it is. More bismuth. Probably the same one. Okay, this is not ideal. This is really, really not ideal. I was trying to be so careful too. Ooh, okay, we can't do that again. That's not going to help us. One second. I am sweating up a storm here. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see. Okay. New plan. We are going back to former home. Still home. Because we have a problem now in that even if I get to my death point, I can't actually get to my death point. So I need to recover, and in order to do that I need a saw. How far are we? Still fairly far. That is actually the first time I've died in Terrapuppercraft, surprisingly enough. And of course it's to fall damage. Of course a skeleton has to spawn on that beach. That's where I wanted to make landfall. don't understand how those torches are still lit. I guess they must be right outside render or like load distance or something, so they never unlit themselves. Can't afford to tangle with skeletons right now. It looks like they are actually unlit, but for some reason the lighting hasn't updated. Please don't see me. Alright, we have arrived. So, should we use the white elm? I think so. Oops, don't want to lose that. One more should be enough. Whoops, made one too many. I'll probably use it later. Okay, so we will dump these here. Okay. Ladders. I missed the new boats. I just wanted to make sure I didn't bring my saw or something. I do need... What the hell just happened to my boat? Okay. What the fuck? My boat just disappeared? This is the sort of issues that I'm talking about, where, like, that does not make for fun gameplay. And that is why we have cheats on, so we can fix it. Actually really need some drinking water. There's some right here. What the hell? Okay. This is drinking water. Why does it not work? Boats that randomly destroy themselves. Whatever. I don't mind when I make mistakes. I don't like when the game just screws you over because of bugs or bad game design, which is not a comment on. Why can I suddenly not drink? What the hell? Okay, now I can. But of course now there is a zombie. Okay, why can I not drink? For some reason being very picky about it. I'm gonna have to sail around this thing. I think what happens basically is that the boat desync issue that I was talking about in the beginning, and that causes the boat to be in a different place and you are actually seeing yourself, and because of that you're like hitting ground that was not supposed to be there, and then the boat just disintegrates. Chickens! So I'm gonna have to go around. Interesting rock formation there. Oh. It did it again? Give me a new boat. Okay, let's just cross the beach here. The annoying thing with the boat desync issue is that it doesn't even help, like, that you wait. Like, I sat on the edge of the world, like the edge of the world, for a while, and just nothing was happening. So yeah, even if you want to cross the ocean legit, it is not fun. And it happened again. It doesn't make sense either, because like it is very obvious that the boat is further along. No. Go in inventory. But why then would you be stuck on the edge of the world? Every time you die, you have to re-unlock the crafting grid, essentially. I'm feeling a bit of the exploration lag that I was talking about. Okay. So I might actually need to restart the game at some point. Okay. There's my grave. Okay, got the stuff. Doesn't look like anything fell down. Can we get out this way? No. Okay. Okay, so this time we just keep holding shift, shall we? I was actually trying to hold shift last time, but my finger must have slipped for a moment, just the worst moment. Okay, so let's remove the death point. Actually, let's set it up with the napping like last time. Oh, sorry. Alright, let's not fall in more holes. Okay. I'm curious what is across the water. I'm also curious what is at the tip here. Oh, more exposed coal. Doesn't look like anything new over there. I do have enough. Alright, for the sake of the stream, I'm going to restart the game real quick because it is starting to do that exploration lag thing that I was talking about. I see something interesting in there. I don't really want to go there during nighttime though. So, let's see. This death note, I don't think it has any worth. This tells us all the stuff that we lost, but we should have gotten that back. I don't think anything dropped down. Potentia. Okay. So since we are stuck here anyway, let's do a little inventory management. What is in this? Nothing. This has the food in it, so that is good. This one is empty. Okay, so problem with... What am I doing here? Sticking... It's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's see this one here. That is medium. I think it needs to be small size. Very small, so if we do this, is it still small? Yes. Oh, wrong thing. Still small, so that means that we should be able to store these now. It needs to be of a small size, otherwise you can't store it in the vessel. Oh. I can see something right there out of the corner of my eye here. But I can't quite make out what it is. It could be a tulip, it could also potentially be crops of some sort. All right. Trying to scout out the shoreline, but I think it is all bad. I think in this climate both sycamore and white cedar can spawn. It's just a matter of finding a biome that has them. I would kind of like to get all those three. Getting some willow would also be nice. But first, we let nighttime pass. See, I'm trying to look for like a nice place to live. So far I haven't really seen... What is that spider doing out there? I haven't really seen any that are like super nice. Like what we have down here is we have freshwater and seawater fairly close together, and also like a nice layout of the land. But we haven't really had that up here. It's just all beach and then lakes inland. So I'm trying to find like a nice cove or something. And that is the goal. There's a bunch of squid that just spawned there. Ba-da-ba. Let's see. It's like right there. Can we place a waypoint there or something? Yes. Point. So I would like to pick up those yellow bell peppers. Did I have yellow bell peppers in one of these? Not in this one. No. Only red and green ones. Bumps. Both red and the yellow one can give green ones, but they need to be harvested early in order to do that. Oh, that's also interesting. I see some wheat. Like, I would like to have something seaside. Like, something like this is nice, but I'm missing some flat space. This over here, like with the big cliffs, it's just a little arsey. It works, just I don't want to just live on a beach. Okay, so plan in the morning is we go in, check out that wheat, go to the bell pepper, go to point of interest, then we explore over there and try to see if we can find an interesting place to live. Stop. Stop. Ass boat. And the boat was over there now. What is it we say about Papa Frame? No bugs. Alright. Rye. Mature rye as well. I really like rye, and it's probably because I'm Danish. One of the probably most Danish things is rye bread. I think we had oats and stuff. Oats and wheat. We can store it in that instead. But like most Danes, like when they go on vacation, like, or at least most I know, like when they are done with the vacation, they're just looking forward to going home and having some rye bread, some smørbrød, which is rye bread with stuff on it. Ooh. Red bell pepper. Actually, let's do this one. Get this one out. Still small, still small. Still small. Good. Need to make sure that it still fits in. I don't want to make that mistake again. loving all these different veggies though. Oh, I see more red bell pepper. Platinum. It's like that looks wrong. Now it's medium, small. Okay, so no, that was the wrong one. So this one is now full in regards to red bell pepper. So we put the others in the other vessel. Okay, let's see if we can do it better this time. Oh, there's some more point of interest. Stop! God damn it. Two sticks. I need to about that looks like barley. That looks like berry bushes. Holy crap at the lag. Stop with the lag. Cranberry. Right. It's like, wait, where did it go? I'm sure it was there. Barley. Which of course is a new type, so we're running out of inventory space. More pumpkins. I see some limonite. Pretty sure these will still be small. And here is more barley. It's also really good because of the stuff that I've been hinting at. Still small. Let's remove the point of interest. Also chicken. There's way more chickens than we need. Well, I guess we can't complain. There's magnetite. This is actually pretty nice. This could be a candidate. This isn't bad at all. It is in this one. Wait. Really, was there only one that was... Okay, fair enough. The fresh water's a little far away, but it is here. It is definitely here. So... I would say this is a pretty good contender. Like, it needs a little terraforming, but this could be a nice place for a house. A little monotonous with the... what is it called? With the trees, perhaps? Let's look a little bit more, though. Also, while it is still light, let's grab some water so that we don't dehydrate overnight. Let's also make a little bit more inventory space since we have ladders in our inventory anyway. And we're also on conglomerate, which is kind of what I wanted. Magnetite. It looks like rice. That's a lot of rice. Okay, let's get to the shore. I see some yellow bell pepper. See, this could also potentially be nice. The only thing is a little plain. It has fresh water, it has seawater. So that is both very nice. Alright, let's sail a little bit further out here and also a little away from that island. Alright, so while we are waiting here anyway, I wanted to talk about a couple of things because I keep hinting at it in regards to the stream. Hi Sean, sorry I didn't see that you gotten on yet. Yeah, about the many. Yeah, I had a death, unfortunately. My pinky failed me. But yeah, like I was talking about how there's a problem with excessive travel that the developers only want to make worse, if anything. So that's not a good thing. Then there's a problem that is a part of that, which is the bugginess. There is also the problem of certain animals that you would like to get being locked behind excessive buggy travel. Cows, for instance, they need to be in a hot enough climate, I think, and they also need to be in a plains biome, which can be pretty difficult to find. That actually looks like a plains, so there's potential, and it is fairly hot here, so there is potential. Sheep only spawns in mountains, chickens only spawn in jungle. Jungle is only north and south of equator, so if you are not close to equator, well, better pack a backpack. So I came up with some rules for basically allowing you to buy animals, and it is basically an achievement system with some requirements, and then there's a price listing. I've made that for both animals, I've made it for fruit trees, and I've also done it for graphite and kaolinite, but I will get into that once we get to it. But for the animals, so the animals must have an appropriate animal enclosure. That means a fenced-in area where the animals can live, of appropriate size for the animals. Appropriate size is, of course, variable. This is Minecraft, but basically don't pack them into a 3x3. It's not nice. It must be on grass. They eat grass. They must be on grass so they can eat. Then there must be a covered hut so that they can seek shelter during rain. And then there's specific requirements in order to get each individual animal. Chickens must have a nearby free nesting box, which means every chicken needs their own nesting box. Roosters need a nesting box, but they will not occupy it, which means that if you have a chicken in a nesting box, the rooster can still be there. You can also have multiple roosters if you want to, even though that doesn't make much sense. But basically, you need to have a nesting box regardless of whether it's a chicken or a rooster, but the chicken will occupy it, so if you want another chicken, you need another nesting box. Cows must have a dedicated milking station or milking setup, which means a barrel. It means a place you can store a bucket so you can milk. And it probably requires 2 barrels as well, because one of the barrels will be transported back and forth, but only one is required. It's also vague, like you basically define what it is, but it is a guideline. Ship requires a dedicated shearing station, which means a place where you can sit and shear sheep. So a place where you can sit, which also has the tools to shear and to process the wool, potentially. You might not want to store the spindle there, that's okay if you want to store it in the house, but you will need a spindle either way. Then there is pigs. Pigs must have a patch of mud to play in, which is ungrassed dirt, which can be achieved by blocking skylight with anything which will prevent grass growth. Could be a small roof. It could also be made under like a tree. Either will work. Or you can also have your animal enclosure either partially or fully over a clay deposit. That will also be acceptable as counting as mud. Then, once that has been done, animals may be bought as long as the following is fulfilled. You must have 2 types of grain in order to be able to support a single type of animal. Each additional type of animal requires another type of grain. So that means you need to be able to grow seeds of each of the grain types. There's 5 types of grain that can be fed to animals. You need 2 to get animals, and you can get up to 5. In addition to the grain requirements, each new type of animal requires owning half of a stack of rope, which must be stored with the animal workstations. Any prior animals, whether purchased or found in the wild, must be familiarized before new ones may be acquired. This counts per purchase, thus it's possible to buy multiple animals at the same time if one can afford it. What that means is that if you buy animals or if you bring animals home, they need to be familiarized. You need to make them tame, which is signified by having them a gold heart over their head, which we will see sometime in the future. So all your animals must be familiarized before you buy more animals. Then there's the price. And you can buy more animals at once, which means if you can afford 2 chickens, you can buy 2 chickens without needing to buy one, familiarize it, then buy the other. So there's that. Then there is the pricing. And I have tried to balance it to make it fair, but also so that it is actually an achievement. For a random chicken, a random feather friend, it is 1.5 stacks of grain, which is quite a bit of grain. A chicken costs 2 stacks of grain, but in exchange for that you get what you want, basically. Come back here. No. I've said it before. I miss 1 point whatever 11 or 12 swimming. A rooster costs 3. So essentially you could go and buy a random, then you get a rooster and score, then you can save a little bit on the second purchase, for instance, and then you can start breeding your own animals. Oops, that was wrong. A random bovine will cost 4 stacks of grain. A cow will cost 5. A bull will cost 7. A sheep costs 5, and I have not made specific prices for genders there because it doesn't make too much sense, because you can get wool from both, but you can get the idea if you want to expand the rules for that. Then we have pigs. Pigs are 3 stacks of green, because frankly pigs are not super important and their only use is for slaughtering, which is not nice. So you will need an influx anyway, whether that is by breeding or otherwise. Alright, and then there's some extra rules in regards to wild animals, because you may bring home wild animals, like all the... of course I missed this one. You may bring home wild animals without having an enclosure already built, or without having the workstations and stuff set up. That's fine, you're allowed to do that. Oh, new trees. Oh, carrots. I have too much in my inventory. But I can't pass up the plants. That's barley, that's not what we want. Might still be space in that stack for it. No, that would bring it to medium. Bums. I'm going to sacrifice my axe. No. So, you may bring home wild animals without fulfilling the requirements, but if you want to buy animals, you have to fulfill the requirements before you are eligible for buying. That's actually really nice. That's pine trees. Pine trees on the plains. It is not a place that I want to live. But it is still nice to have around, especially because it is more types of trees. There's a bunch of more plants here. See, now the question is, should we choose that place or not? Let's go this way a little bit and see what's there. Oh. Woo! What's this? Rosastas. Alright, 1 second. So then there's fruit trees. You can also buy fruit trees because fruit trees only grow in warm climates, and again, travel is an ass. So we want to make it possible to get fruit trees even if you do not. Is that sugarcane or what is it? Or not sugarcane, reeds. Sugarcane is actually a specific crop in this. So for fruit trees, you also need to have some achievements, like completed or whatever you want to call it. But unlike the animals, it is centered around arboriculture, I think it is called. Basically, taking care of trees. So there's 2 ways of buying trees. One is random exclusive and another is specific. Random exclusive means that you are buying from a pool of all the trees, and each time you buy a tree, you will no longer be able to buy that tree. So eventually you will be able to, or you will be unable to buy any more trees this way, but you can get every one of the trees this way. It is cheaper, and you can then start your own little orchard if that is what you want. It might take a few attempts until you get the fruit that you actually want. Where the hell did you come from? There's no place for you to spawn. So yeah, it might take a few attempts before you actually get what you want. But I think there's 9 different fruit trees, so eventually you will get it. This is bismuth. Bismuth. Let's just mark it here. Basically, it is technically bismuthinite, but me words. Let's see, another piece. Oops. So that is one way to buy trees. The other way is the specific one. It costs more, but you can buy specific trees and you can also buy more than one. So if you want to pay your way to an orchard of 36 apple trees, you certainly can, but it will cost. So the easiest to achieve is the random exclusive. In order to do that, you need to own 5 different genuses of trees. And in order to unlock the other, this looks death, yeah. In order to unlock the other, you must own 9. So the idea behind that is that many biomes that you spawn in will usually have 2 to... oh, more bismuth. Bismuth. Oh, no. How are we actually on? We have space for 2 more pieces now. See one over there. Okay, we're full up on bismuth, so we can't pick any more up. Skeletons. Don't really like that barley there. I think I can snag it real quick and just bolt again. So 5 different genuses of trees must be owned to be able to get a random exclusive, and 9 to do specific. Since you start usually in a place with 2 to 3 different types of trees, that means that you will have to do a little exploring at least to be able to buy fruit trees, and you will have to do a bit of exploring to get to the specific one, but that should be one that is a little harder to get to. Okay. So, that is that. Then let's have a look here. Ownership of a tree is defined as owning over 16 saplings of a specific genus, which must be acquired through farming, not wild deforestation, which means that in order to unlock it, I cannot just go in and cut down all these trees and get a bunch of saplings. I need to actually plant the trees, grow them myself, make new saplings, and achieve 16 saplings that way. For tree types which doesn't drop saplings, which is acacia, kapok, and sequoia. Sequoia does produce saplings, but it's different. They don't drop them from the leaves. Instead, you need to cut the tree, wait, and then a sapling pops up where the tree was. But that's basically the same, except it does return eventually. Saplings are not required, however they will only count towards being owned, quote unquote, if they are within acceptable distance, which is 5 kilometers by land or 2 kilometers by boat. So now you can see here, if we use this place here as a reference, we are here at 6,800, and here we have 6,300. That is within walkable distance, so we count acacia as owned, is basically the idea. So that is how we define ownership. Then there is the matter of how it works. So I already explained how random exclusive works, and the other one how you get it. But remember, random exclusive, every time you get a sapling it is random, but it is then removed from the pool afterwards so that you will not get it again. And that's partially because it is really sucky if you're trying to get something specific and you just keep on getting everything you don't want over and over again. It is my kind of luck, and that might be why I hate it, so that is why I made the system, so that it would counteract that. The price is 2 stacks of saplings, and the saplings must be of a different genus, so you can't just do one tree and then over farm that. You need to farm different ones. Again, to prove that you're actually doing some tree farming. Then we have the specific. And the specific... oh, what happened there? Oh. There's some land over there. I kind of want to get that on my map, so I know that it's there for later. The specific price is 4 stacks of saplings, and again, the saplings must be a different genuses. So yes, you can buy specific trees and you can buy as many as you want, but you will have to work some for it. It isn't that easy, because you do need to break the leaves by hand in order to have a chance of saplings, so it requires some footwork. And that's also the intent, because we are making up for one grind that doesn't work by making another grind that is something that you can actually do. So 2 stacks of different saplings for random exclusive, 4 stacks of different genus saplings for specific, and 5 trees owned for random exclusive accessibility. That looks kinda interesting. I don't know, I might want to go in there and have a little look. Now finally, there is the matter of graphite and kaolinite. And, well, graphite, for reference. Graphite, or let's start with kaolinite. Kaolinite is fairly simple. It spawns in sedimentary layers, which means this is conglomerate, which means it is sedimentary layers. So that is lovely, but doesn't necessarily give enough. It might still be difficult to find it. If you can't find it exposed, it's not like ore where you have it lying on the surface. You have to actually either see it or just go around randomly with a prospecting pick and slamming the ground every now and then, hoping that it says kaolinite at some point, which is frankly just a waste of resources and boring. So to remove that frustration, we're doing a stuff for that as well. And then there is graphite, and graphite requires a little different, because graphite is only in metamorphic layers, but is only in 4 of the 6 metamorphic layers. So it is either in gneiss, marble, quartzite or schist, but you cannot find it in phyllite or slate. So that's a little bit more problematic to find. Also because while sedimentary layers are always at the top, which means that you can see whether or not there is a chance for it here. It did it again. Time for boat the next. Let's have a sippy. But the metamorphic layers can be either the top layer or the middle layer of rock. And that means that you might find it on the surface, But there could also potentially be a metamorphic layer right down here below my feet. So I might walk over it without even knowing. That kinda sucks. So that makes graphite significantly harder to find. And also equally frustrating. This area is interesting. Ooh! 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 Gimme that! Gimme that! I don't have inventory space. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have wheat in here, we're gonna take the wheat out. The wheat will then be combined with this wheat into this wheat. Then we'll pick up this one, stick that in there. Actually, let's just munch it instead. Because we could use a munch. There's more. Okay. Don't have enough space. But I need the seeds. That is soybeans. Soybeans is a source of protein, which is really nice. Oh, there's more. Is there anything I could drop instead? Maybe I should drop the oats. I like oats though. How about this? We take these out. And this we do that. This we stick these inside of. Then we can pick up the other one as well. Where did I leave it now? Okay. Really nice. So there's the frustration of those two. There's a lot here, so we're going to take a couple. So we're doing something about it. And basically what we're doing is in the game here, unless you're using expansion modules that somehow makes use of them, there is a couple of materials, namely gypsum and jet, which are both kind of gemstone sort of things. They have no use, but they still spawn in the world, and they will show up and be annoying because they will say, "Oh, you found jet here." "Yeah, but I'm looking for bismuth at the moment. Could you please tell me about the bismuth deposit that I know is here? Not the jet." That would be nice. So we're putting those to use and basically saying that the jet and the gypsum we can convert into either kaolinite or death or graphite. And how we're doing it basically is we are saying that let's see, I need my document for this. So gypsum, that can spawn in metamorphic layers, so it only makes sense that that would be the the graphite, the gypsum can spawn in. No, sorry, different. Gypsum, both of them can spawn in sedimentary layers, so you can find them everywhere. Okay, now we're back in Acacia. That's not where we want to be. So gypsum and jet. Jet is a dark sort of graphite-y sort of thing. So it only makes sense that that would be the graphite. And gypsum, conversely, would then be the kaolinite. Now the thing is, I have not tried to mine any of these deposits, so I don't actually know like what would be a suitable amount to trade. Yep, soybeans. Soybeans are really good. Like, they are the only vegetable that gives you protein. Other than that, you would need to get chicken so you can get eggs. So without soybeans, you would need chickens, and thus to travel to equator to actually get any protein. Which is why I'm a little frustrated at that part. But we also have another thing, and that is Galena. I keep calling it Galena, but it is I keep calling it Gilana, but it is Galena. Of course, when I'm trying to say it wrong, then I say it right. Because why not? This place could also be nice, but there's just a lot of sand, and I prefer grass. Like, we would have to build in here maybe, which we certainly could. Okay, so before it turns nighttime here, let's quote-unquote cheat. So this is option 1. Fairly nice little area, little surrounded, but it has a nice feel to it. Option 2. Well, we still have daylight left. Is this area here. Which has some similarities. So the benefit of this area, it looks nice. The downside of this area is that in order to plant plants, we would have to go all the way over here to the fresh water here, so that we could plant anything. And that might be a little annoying. But maybe it's okay. I'm not sure. Where did the other potential now go? I think I'm gonna say the other one. It's not ideal, but like the problem with this here is that like if I want to build a house, I would probably want to build it something like there, for instance, or in here, and then I would have to have my farm all the way around here, and where do I then do other things? So I think the other is the better choice. Let's just look again. Well, we can still see a little bit. So for this one, we could, for instance, have a house here, so that we could look out over the ocean, or we could have it here. Then we can have our plants back there. We could also potentially live in by the fresh water. That could also be a smart idea. But there's options, that's the point. There's options and there's a little more space. Okay, let's stop cheating. And go back here. Where is we going at? And go back into survival. It's just for the sake of the stream, I wanted to give an overhead view. Just because otherwise I can sit here and mumble and try to explain things and not necessarily make any proper points. Oh yeah, to get back to it. So, we have jet and we have gypsum, which are both gem-like substances, which has no use in the game. So we're making a conversion. You can trade them for kaolinite or graphite in some conversion, but I would have to go in and actually mine them in order to know what said conversion should be. Oh. It is red bell pepper. I was wondering if it was another soybean, but we also have galena. Galena is lead, and it also has no purpose. So what we are going to do basically is that we are going to make it so that you can trade galena for both kaolinite and graphite in equal measures, or equal amounts. But in order to do it, you need to first mine it. Then you need to process it into ingots, which requires fuel. And then after that, you need to weld it together, or rather you need to weld 2 ingots together, which requires flux. And then after that you need to process it into a plate. Oh, what is that? I think that's maize here. Hello. Why can I only ever drink once? Let me drink. Fuck's sake, it did it again. Boat? Thanks. Well, this answers my question. This is not a place to live. That is why I was nearing the shore to begin with. So if you mine galena, you can trade it for kaolinite and graphite, but it needs to be processed, which requires fuel, flux, working, and also a little bit of risk, because the lead, if you know lead has a very low melting point. So in order to do it, you need to basically be on top of it, because if you wait just a moment too long, it's too late. So potentially valuable, but also risky. I think that's a good trade-off. And it also locks it behind a certain level, because you need at least a tier 1 anvil in order to be able to do anything with it. Uh-oh, please don't shoot me. Horses! Horses! Horsies! So that is the rules essentially. I think this is all ash trees again. This, however, is interesting. Mountains, question mark. Disco zombie. Oh. That there we need. Oh yeah, one more thing. Trees that you find in the wild, or trees that you buy through the specific option, do not count against the random exclusive. So if you buy an apple tree specifically, you can still get a second apple tree on the random exclusive. If you find it in the wild, it's not suddenly you can't get it from the random exclusive. So that's an important little detail as well. Okay, I think we're ready to go back. And I think that we are going to go for that spot back there, because otherwise I can keep on traveling for ages. But I want this. I want this. Where'd my boat go now? Over there. Schist. Schist is a graphite one. So I think we're gonna mark this schist. Lemon tree! Awesome! I love lemons. They're ready for picking too. Oh. Lemon is like one of the best fruits. I'm not even kidding. The problem is I'm getting too much now. Oh. Yep. Okay. Alright, let's see if we can get a sapling. So first of all, toss, toss, sapling, no sapling, no sapling, 2 saplings, awesome! Woo! Ah, that makes me happy. Alright, so where me boat? Okay. Where did I put my place to go? All the way over there. Momo. Ah, that's so good. The really good thing about fruit is that you need it in order to make vinegar, which you need in order to preserve things, is like even more than usual. There is different ways of preserving. One of them is pickling. So in order to pickle something, you need to first brine it, which you need to store it in a salt water vinegar solution, and then you put the result into vinegar and store it there. And basically, for as long as you store it in the vinegar barrel, it is just there forever. But what does food do you of any good if you are just sitting on it? It's not really helpful. So probably a better idea would be to, like, maybe, what is that? That is green beans. I thought it looked like green beans.
May we have your attention, please?
Give me back my boat. I have a feeling the boat is not actually here. Ah, I know why. It's because they randomly limit you so that you can't punch with something in your hand. No. No. The axe I can get back. Green beans, Galena. I actually said it right this time. Gold. Don't have space for it though. But yeah, in order to make vinegar, in order to make brine, you need to have vinegar. And in order to make vinegar, you need to have a freshwater barrel. Then you store flour or sugar or similar. Different things will make different things. Barley, for instance, will make a beer. While wheat, I think, makes whiskey. Yeah, I think I have space for them. Maybe not all of them. I'm going to leave the rest and come back for them. Carrots, there's some rice over there. It's going to be a right old mess of waypoints once I'm done here. The good thing about it is that if we look here, my agriculture, I'm actually an adept agriculturalist at this point. Which is quite nice. Oh, I see some rice over there. Because in order to properly farm, you need to be an expert agriculturalist. So all of this foraging that we're doing is slowly advancing us towards... Oh yeah. I wouldn't mind other fruits as well, but that is awesome. I don't want to jinx it, but the only thing that we need now is a cow. If we get a cow, preferably also some sheep, but if we got a cow, we're pretty set. ba, ba, ba. Pigs. Pigs are not cows. Like, we have gone from carrots, more carrots, catters. We have gone from being in trouble to all of a sudden being decently well off. Okay, before it turns night time here, I would like to drink something. The tough thing about fruit trees, you need a lot of fruits in order to make vinegar. It takes 1 barrel, that's 10 buckets of, what is it called, of fresh water. That's pretty much infinite, so that doesn't really matter that much. Then you need 40 I still don't know, ounces, I guess, of flour in order to make it into an alcohol. It might be different for some things. Actually, let me, while we're waiting here, look up what you can make, because I do have it open here. So you can make beer from barley, cider from apples. I like apples. Then we have rum, which you can make from sugar. Sake can be made from rice flour. Vodka can be made from, or vodka, can be made from potato. Whiskey from wheat. Corn whiskey from cornmeal. And rye whiskey from rye. Now, the only sad thing is that the alcohols actually don't have very much use. So it's questionable what you really want with them. But they're there. But so you need 40 ounces of each to make 1 barrel. 4 ounces per barrel, or per bucket essentially, so 40 per barrel. And that gives you a barrel of vinegar, not vinegar, alcohol. Then to that you add 100 ounces of fruit, which comparatively we picked about 250 ounces off of that lemon tree. That's a fully grown lemon tree. When you plant a tree, it takes 30 days for the trees to grow to full height. Then it takes 20 days for every branch that it needs to grow. And if you're cutting saplings from it while it is growing, that's then minus 20 days every time, of course. So that takes time. That is a total of 110 days, which every month is 8 days long. So that is 24 per quarter year, or 96 days in a year. So it takes over a year for a tree to grow to full growth. All right. Oh. Thought for a moment it was a little island or something. Living on an island can be very nice as long as you do have fresh water. It is an ass to have to swim to shore every day to get more water. I don't want to get too close to the shore actually. I don't want monsters to spawn in there and annoy me by morning. All right. But yeah, I made all those rules for making the game less grindy, more fun, taking some grind out that is the dumb grind, like the, sorry, I'm trying not to use that word, the annoying grind, because, as I said, because of bugs and things not working, and yeah, like it is not fun to ferry chickens 7,000 meters over water in a boat that doesn't work. Even worse if you have to swim it. Especially since you can't even just like put your watch on the button and then just go for a coffee, because then you will just dehydrate and die halfway. So that is not fun. So we are doing away with that. Oh yeah, there's one more rule that I didn't mention in regards to the animals. We have located pigs and chickens at this point. Also horses. I have not made rules for horses because frankly horses don't have much use, other than it's fun to have horses. Same for puppas, you can have a puppa. So I might add that in, but I don't have any plans for it because it is just for fun. But essentially, like with the chicken and the pigs, I said that we needed 2 types of grain to be able to have one animal type, and so on. Now we have found pigs and chickens, so that's the first 2. We can't just go out and buy now and then go out and collect them later. That does not count. Except if we want to buy specifically pigs or chickens, but why would we? They're all over the place. So unless we wanted to do that, then yeah. But basically they count towards the limit if you find them within acceptable distance, which again is 5,000 kilometers by foot or 2,000 by boat. So just keep that in mind. And that's just because, like, I could say, oh, I didn't see the chickens, but it's just more fun to live up to the requirements first. Alright, I think it's safe to go to shore. I did it again. Whatever does, 2 sticks, boat, gimme. Holy fuck. That scared me. Morning to you as well. Morning. Yeah, you burn out, please. I don't want to fight you. Alright, let's place our stuff here where we can find it. I better keep the sticks on me, I think. The same with the water. Hello, pig. The vessels we can all place here. The wood. Let's just place it here for now. Okay. The ladders we leave here. Okay, now let's go get that fruit tree. I would really like to finish relocating, but we are almost 3 hours into the stream and it is 2 kilometers away back and forth, and I will need to go multiple trips. So I'm not sure that is a good idea right now. Green beans. So instead we will gather resources, and then I think I will probably ferry the things off stream because it isn't the most interesting, and then next time we can actually make some proper progress. I'm gonna need an axe. I tossed away my last axe. But yeah, won't be the most interesting thing because it's just me going back and forth with stuff. But since I am maybe we will cheat and go back there just so I can show how I will be doing it. How does that sound? Like, I'm still gonna teleport back here and do it proper, but I thought I saw coal for a second. Yeah, we'll still do it proper, but just like because I feel like for anyone who is not familiar with Terrapuppercraft, it is a nice little trick to know. Whoops. see point of interest. Bismuth. That's also a point of interest. Bismuth. I'm so glad we found bismuth now, just so I can say bismuth all the time. Bismuth. Ooh, I can't say it right. Bismuth. It gets even worse if you try to pronounce it with, like, how it's actually, like, the whole thing. Bismuthinite. Bismuthinite. It's like stumbling over your own tongue. Oh, let it rain. Ah, 4 saplings, awesome. Thank you. Ah, I love lemons. That's really nice. We can start a little lemon farm. Also, we keep the marker for the trees in place because in 20 days they will have a new branch, so we could potentially come back and pick up another one. And these we're gonna need. And then next time we will get started. I would also really like to go and find some more types of trees, but it might be a little early still, because the reason I want to do that is for building a house, and we really need materials. So, yeah. Which actually is problematic, because like way down here, there is where we have cassiterite. And maybe I should mine that out off stream, I don't know. I kind of don't want to go back there next time to mine it, but I also don't want to delay the move. I don't really know what to do in that regard. Another option would be to quote-unquote cheat. Basically teleport back and do the mining next time, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. It is an option. I feel like I should show some mining. Hi, chicken. I'm gonna have to get used to the roosters, because that is a little excessive. I'm wondering actually where. doesn't seem like we have any... what is it called? What was I thinking about? I'm going to use some water. It's right up there, but let's grab these first though. Actually, let's not. That's dangerous. You like not? I'm gonna grab some more water. That's bloody dangerous. Let's take residence on this little island, assuming that nothing spawns on it. Of course, something spawns on it. Ah! I just want the last couple of things. I want to go home. So many vegetables. I'm happy about that. The only problem is I'm gonna have to preserve them somehow. And I'm not sure how at the moment. I'm gonna have to figure something out. The problem is that we're in a hot climate. Whoops, I accidentally took a screenshot and I just took another. Whoops. Let's see, the temperature is 33.13 degrees in the middle of the night. Nice. Not at all excessive or anything. It's better than 40 degrees. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to do with them. What is it called? I'm not entirely sure what to do with the mining. There will be other potentials to sea mining. So maybe I should just do it off stream. Then I could do it before I travel. I don't know. But I would kind of like to get the cassiterite because I think we do have some sphalerite. So now that we have a little bit of bismuth, we could potentially make bismuth bronze. But if we can get that cassiterite, we should also be good for bronze for a little bit. Where are we at here? There. So that means here. Rice. Also somewhere around there, rice. I have an axe. Oi! Knockback resistance, my butt. A lot of waiting today, but hopefully next time we can start to make a little bit of headway. One of the problems that we're facing right now is a lot of darkness, and we are moving into unexplored territory again, so it makes it a little risky. So sometimes we just have to wait. If I had infinite inventory and infinite resources, I would just take them on, but I don't. Well, like, not the skeletons. The skeletons are bloody dangerous. But like the zombies, no problem. The spiders, I prefer to take them on in the water. I am very curious about here because I think if horses are capable of spawning, cows can spawn as well. Which means that there's potential that there could be cows lurking around in all of this place, basically, or space. That would be really nice. It's a very sharp line. That's not what I wanted. I wanted... late summer. I am worried that by the time that we are finally set up, that it will be too late to actually start farming anything. That is a very real possibility. There isn't so much I can do about it. We do have the benefit that we have a pretty large amount of food, so we should be able to make it through winter no problem. But nevertheless, I also wonder how cold it's gonna get here. Like, I'm very, very curious. Don't make it a thunderstorm. Don't make it a thunderstorm. Like, I'm very curious in regards to what is it called? In regards to winter, how cold is it actually going to be? Right now we're in the middle of the summer, so the fact that it's 30 degrees, that's acceptable. But what happens when we get to winter? Is there going to be snow? Is there going to be ice? Because we could build a cellar, but the thing is that if we don't have ice, that cellar ain't gonna do nothing. So little bit of a limiting factor. Uh-oh. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 da. I think I will think about what I do with the cassiterite. Either way, I will definitely transport things off stream, because that is going to take a while. But that'll basically be a stream in itself. But we managed to find a place to live. Gold. I'm gonna grab it this time. We're gonna grab the Galena right now. But the gold I will have. Actually, I can't remember. No. For some reason my memory told me that schist could generate silver, but no, unfortunately not. That is only granite and gneiss, which is not a lot, to be frank. Oh yeah, there's another thing which this has. Schist. Which I really wish that the normal game would have. And that is spawn protection. Terrapuppercraft has a spawn protection mechanic, which means that as you inhabit an area, for every hour you inhabit an area, the protection of that area goes up, which reduces the monster spawns that happens in that area. So essentially what it means is that as you live in your house, less and less monsters will come and bother you. To the point where they practically do not spawn there anymore, only in the fringe. And it's in a 5x5 chunk area around you as well, so it's a pretty decent protection. But it just means that, like, even without lighting up the place, the fact that you are sitting on this area and you're making it yours, it actually becomes safe. And that's frankly really nice. The blue one. No, this is not rice. This is not rice. Check my eyes. Let's take a little bit of a side trip here. Okay, check the hole first to make sure that they're safe. No more falling in holes while cutting trees, please. I wonder where we are actually. 7,000. That's about where I went in my other world. Which means that it should be possible to find something like cedar. I would really like to find some cedar and some willow before we start building house. Before we start building house though, we need metal. This is all ash, it's just giant ash. Yeah. Let's mark this. It's a decent place to cut some clay without disturbing the landscape. This is more seeds than we need, and there's also probably more vegetables than we need, but we can make alcohol out of the stuff, which we can make vinegar out of, and we can also use it as feed for animals, so it's really not bad to have. It will also really set us on straw for a bit, which is also good. Where are they? Straight ahead. And there's carrots there. This is also not... Well, at least there was rice behind it. I'll probably also go in and clean up all the waypoints of stream because they are a little bit excessive. Like, I can't even see this one behind me. But the fact that spruce trees can spawn here makes me think that, yeah, the others should be able to spawn here as well. It's just a matter of finding the biome. So if we go a little further north or something, or explore along the same longitude, we should also be good. Longitude question mark? But it is still worth also to grab it just to increase our agricultural skill. Like, we're so close to being an expert at agriculture. Once we are expert, like right now you see yellow bell pepper, once we are an expert, we can recognize nutritional levels. The yellow. That's the one we're just at. see. I think that's squash. We don't have squash yet. I would like some squash. All right. It's gonna turn dark before we get back. Mining is actually scary in this. Like, you have, what is it called? Maybe we should inhabit one of those small islands. Like in... Ooh, strawberries! Yoink! Is there any more? Only one? There's not a lot of strawberries. I want more strawberries. Inhabit. But yeah, when you're mining, there's physics in this game more than in the normal Minecraft. So you can't just start digging into the side of a mountain. If you try to do that, things will collapse on your head. Which is obviously not very nice. That can very quickly kill you, because it is not just like normal Minecraft where things fall on you and then you start suffocating and you can dig your way out in time. Digging is slow, first of all, but also it's more like getting hit by an anvil. It hurts. So it's not fun getting covered in rock. So in order to mine, you need to use wooden supports and stuff. You need to take some risk, and also if stone collapses onto ore, the ore will be destroyed. So if you're not careful, you might just destroy your bounty, which is obviously not what you want. Oh, they're nice, but if we ever want to do anything with it, edit. New home. Old home. So yeah, you need to use support beams in order to strengthen the stone, and even then you're not completely safe, because sometimes you're just going to have to take some risks. Like you're in a situation where it's like, I don't have a good place to put supports, so I need to remove that rock there which might cause a cave-in in order to be able to place a support. So I need to take a chance and remove that rock so that I can place them. So it's like you're hanging on to a ladder on the side of a wall and like trying to mine with the other paw, and it is fun, but it is also stressful. A little much waiting today, but that's just what we have to do. We have way too many rice seeds. We have over a stack of rice seeds now. I didn't even realize that. We don't need more of those. Some sugarcane would be nice, but sugarcane is difficult to get. Like every time I find sugarcane, unlike other plants which like starts at a growth level that is somewhat acceptable, sugarcane seem to take an age to grow, and by the time that, like when you start the game, the growth that it's in is like 2/3 of other plants, so they're not at a point yet where you can even get a seed out of them. I think they need to be in the last quarter or something of maturity in order to give a seed. This one here we removed, I'm pretty sure. I would use the time to just disable some of all the waypoints. But the problem is, once I'm in the waypoint menu, time isn't passing, so because I'm playing in a single player world, so I can't really do it. It won't further the night time by doing that. $30 in the middle of the night. It's still bloody hot. I could not live in Spain or Italy. It's so warm. Like, I've been there, not to Italy, but I've been to Spain. And like, I can survive a vacation, but otherwise I'd rather not. Wait, almost over. And I think once we get back, then I will call off the stream, because it is getting a little late. It's already 11, so it's a good time to end off. So between now and next time, I will ferry the things from old home to new home. Not the most interesting trip. Can be done by boat though, which is kind of nice, if boats work nicely. But nevertheless. But yeah. Then I think next time I would like to know what's up here. I would also potentially like to know what's up here. And over here is maybe... It seems that there is potential for maybe cows over here, so I would like to check that out. Yeah. So that makes me think that I should mine the cassiterite before I head up. Oops. Because otherwise, like, we're gonna have to go down and use a bunch of time for that next time. And I would kind of rather use that for progress than necessarily mining. Then we can mine another time for something that's a little less... what is it called? Detrimental? Like, our problem has been getting enough metal to get anywhere. We do have a little bit of bismuth now, and we should have some sphalerite, and we can get copper if we need to by doing the thingy, the panning, which, by the way, as I talked about in the beginning, I removed the sleuth and returned the resources for it because it is bugged. Also the panning limit doesn't make sense to me. Like, it seems like a badly implemented attempt to fix a problem that isn't really there. Like, the problem is that people will put up like 50 slews and then just have infinite ore. And yes, that's a problem. But that's a problem with a certain type of people. So you're trying to fix people, and that does not always work. We now have too much. These I'm gonna need in a different place. These I might as well carry back with me. We have 2 wheats that can be combined. Let's see here. We have oat. Do we have oat? No. We do have rice. Do we have a small thing we can stick in there? This, for instance. This should still be size small. Barley, rye. Unless we can place on the floor here. Alright, so that's where I at. We are in our new home, or home to be. Need to clear a few trees so we have space to actually exist here. And start figuring out where we might make a house and stuff, bring our stuff over. So for the next stream I will... Whoops. I will bring stuff over. Probably also mine that cassiterite because it is a limiter and I kind of don't want to waste the entire stream next time because it can quickly take a long while to mine. So we'll probably do that and then bring it all over. So that is what I will take care of until next time. Yeah, I think that'll be it. So let's get the ending screen on. So progress, a lot of progress actually. We've gotten 3 new types of trees. We still have acacia if we want to use it. That means that we own 4 trees. As I talked about earlier, I wanted to go through the rules one more time. So for the animals, you can buy animals. This is the rules that I have made, which just removes a stupid grind that is just unfun and buggy and therefore should not be undertaken. So I have set up some rules, and if you follow the achievements and you pay the price, then you may get may buy or may feel satisfied that you can spawn in an animal. So for animals, you must have an appropriate animal enclosure. It must be large enough, it must be on grass, and it must have a covered hut for shelter. Chickens must have a free nesting box, 1 each. Roosters need one, but will not occupy one. So you need to have a nesting box to have a rooster, but it does not count towards filling one. Cows must have a nearby dedicated milking setup. Multiple cows can share a barrel. So you need a barrel basically to put milk in, and you need a barrel there close by that you can milk with or milk into. Sheep requires a dedicated shearing station, which means that there needs to be shearing tools, and there also needs to be potentially a spindle, not necessarily, but a shearing tool as well as a place to sit somewhere in the vicinity. Let's cut that song, I think. Let's go to the ending music. Then pigs must have a patch of mud to play in, which is ungrassed dirt. You can achieve ungrassed dirt by blocking skylight, which will prevent grass from growing. Even a leaf block will block grass from growing, which you also need to remember when you're building something. So keep that in mind when you're building, but you can use it for the pigs, but you can also build the patch on either partially or fully on a clay deposit. That will also count as mud. So once that is done, animals may be bought as long as the following is fulfilled. 2 types of grain must be owned: barley, rice, rye, wheat or oat. You must have the seeds so you can support the animals. Must be owned and able to be grown to support a single type of animal. For every new type of animal, you need 1 more type of grain. So if you want all 4 types, you need all 5 types of grain. In addition to the grain requirements, each new type of animal requires owning half a stack of rope, which must be stored with the animal's workstations. That's basically a requirement for being able to wrangle the animals. So you need to have jute, and you need to process that into rope in order to have it, and the amount is more a matter of balance. Any prior animals, whether purchased or found in the wild, must be familiarized before new ones may be acquired. This counts per purchase, thus it is possible to buy multiple animals at the same time if you can afford it. Which means that if you buy multiple animals at the same time, you don't need to individually familiarize them to get the next one. The price is 1.5 stacks of grain for a random chicken or random cluck, a feather friend, whatever you want to call it. 2 stacks for a chicken, 3 stacks for a rooster, 4 stacks for a random bovine, 5 stacks for a cow, 7 stacks for a bull, 5 stacks for a sheep, that is male or female, 3 stacks for a pig, same either male or female. Wild animals may be brought home without fulfilling specific acquisition requirements, though these must be met before additional animals may be bought, and they will count towards further purchase grain ownership quotas. May not be ignored either, in order to maintain a lower quota, and then first buy before going out and fetching them. Basically, if you saw them in the wild within 5 kilometers by foot or 2 kilometers by boat, you need to accept that you need more grain because they are practically yours already. For the fruit trees, you can buy them either random exclusive or specific. Random exclusive, you must own 5 types of trees. Specific, you must own 9 types of trees. Owning is defined as owning 16 saplings that you have personally grown, not gone out and harvested from wild trees. So only once you've grown count. And for trees that don't drop saplings, like acacia, kapok and sequoia, saplings are not required, but they must be within 5 kilometers by land or 2 kilometers by boat to count as being owned. Random exclusive means that you buy a random tree. It gives you a random tree, you can't control which, however, that tree will not be gotten again. So once you've gotten a tree, you will not get it again, which means that you can keep on trying until you get what you want. And other trees that you find in the wild, as well as those you get from the specific purpose, does not block this. So only it has its own pool basically it draws from. It costs 2 stacks of saplings, which each must be of a different genus. And then for the specific purpose, the price is that you have 4 stacks of saplings, and they must also all be of different genuses. So requires a little bit of farming, but it's possible. Then there is graphite and kaolinite, and as I talked about, you can trade gypsum for kaolinite and jet for graphite. I'm not sure about the conversion rates, I have to look into that, but it is a suggestion. Then there is galena, which is lead. That you can also trade. You need to process it into ingots, then fuse them together, weld them together, and then process them into a plate, which is risky and also takes some work and resources. But in exchange for that, you will get a good amount of both kaolinite and graphite. So risk reward and work reward. So your choice if you want to do it. So that is the rules that I've made, and I'm gonna stop talking now. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the stream, and I hope to see you again next time. For now, I'm gonna get going. Next stream will be Friday, most likely. I doubt I will make a stream tomorrow as well, but you never know. But I will make a stream Friday, I'm pretty sure. It could also potentially move to the weekend. So I won't completely discount that I move it to either Saturday or Sunday. But for now it is planned Friday. It is also possible that I make a stream Friday and then stream on the weekend. It basically depends on mood. So we'll see. For now though, I'm gonna stop talking, say thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time. I hope you enjoyed it. and good night, everyone. Bye bye.